Also known as the Pearl of the Indian Ocean, Sri Lanka, despite its small size, has one of the highest rates of biological endemism in the world, whether in plants or animals. The island's isolation from the mainland, the heavy rainfall of the two diagonally blowing monsoons, and the country's wide range of altitudes have given Sri Lanka a variation in climate and biodiversity normally found only across an entire continent. It is ranked amongst the world's top 25 biodiversity hotspots. With such a high rate of endemism, it has many faunal groups such as mammals, reptiles, and amphibians, which you cannot find anywhere else in the world. For this list, let's take a look at few of the more iconic and intriguing terrestrial mammal species that you might find here. The Sri Lankan elephant is one of the three recognized subspecies of Asian elephant and native to the island. It is also the largest and darkest of the Asian elephants, with patches of depigmentation on its ears, face, trunk and belly. They are said to be highly intelligent, self-aware and emotional animals. They hold a symbolic, cultural and economic importance in Sri Lanka. The island has a long history of domesticating them back to times when Sinhalese kings kept them for military purposes and to enhance the majesty of their reign. They participate in annual temple processions all over Sri Lanka. Often they are richly decorated and are central to the proceedings. Other elephants are permanently kept at temples as a status symbol. These powerful beasts have been used for transportation of people on their back, carrying and hauling and lifting logs and other objects like stones used for construction purposes. Historically, they have played a big role in the construction of ancient cities. Being such iconic animals, they have been featured in the coat of arms of many of the occupiers of Sri Lanka, such as the Portuguese, the Dutch and the British, and popular political parties to this present day. The Sri Lankan elephant now largely inhabits the dry zones in the north, east and the southeast regions of Sri Lanka. It is estimated that the island has the highest density of elephants in Asia. Their lifespan is between 55 and 70 years, and they travel in herds of up to 8 to 12 individuals, especially female adults and offsprings, headed by a matriarch. But herd size can vary. Males leave the herd when reaching sexual maturity, wandering on their own or in temporary bachelor herds. They feed on a variety of vegetation, including grasses, leaves, climbers, shoots, barks, roots, nuts, seeds, and a large number of plant species. The most unique feature of this animal is its tusks. Only the bull or the male elephant has long tusks, though many bulls have no tusks at all. Cows or the female elephants have short tusks hidden under their rashes. Only few of the elephant bear tusks, and the tusker population stands less than 3% of the total population of elephants. Since 1986, the Sri Lankan elephant has been listed as endangered by the IUCN as the population declined at least 50% over the last 3 generations. The species is preeminently threatened by habitat loss, degradation and fragmentation. The large blocks of forest they require are increasingly fragmented by clearing for human settlement and expanding agriculture in Sri Lanka. It has been said that as a result of forest clearing, human-elephant conflicts have also increased and led to the destruction of property and death of both humans and elephants. The problem is compounded by the elephant's preference for crops such as sugarcane, bananas, fruits, frequently grown in the region. The predation of elephants has destroyed the livelihood of farmers, and despite a general reverence for elephants in Sri Lankan culture, they have also become increasingly viewed as pests. On the brighter side of things, however, various elephant orphanages and care centers are being set up in several areas of Sri Lanka. These include the Udawalawe Elephant Transit Home that cares for and rehabilitates injured elephants and then releases them back into the wild. Also the world-famous Pinnawala Elephant Orphanage that cares for nearly 90 orphaned elephants. The Sri Lankan leopard, a graceful, stealthy, agile and lethal hunter, it is just as deadly as its relatives elsewhere around the world. It is the strongest climber of the big cats. The muscles attached to their scapula are exceptionally strong, which enhances their tree climbing prowess. The Sri Lankan leopard is one of the largest subspecies of leopard found in the world. It is the apex land predator of the island, since it has no competition with other large cats such as lions and tigers, like some of its other relatives around the world. They hunt by stalking prey within easy striking distance. Then it uses its speed to quickly overrun and pounce on its victim, biting into the vertebrae and killing instantly in most cases. They are the most adaptable of all felines with opportunistic hunting behavior, which has enabled them to survive and evolve to changes in their environment easily. Their diet consists of a variety of species from deer, wild boar, hares, monkeys, birds, reptiles, frogs, rodents, and even insects, although they have also been known to bring down fully grown water buffaloes. They are solitary hunters, except during mating season or when mother and cub are found in the wild. And although leopards tend to be primarily nocturnal, they are also encountered during the day, especially in the early mornings and the late afternoons. They are sexually dimorphic, with males being at least 30% larger than females and having broad and larger heads. The leopard has an island-wide distribution in protected areas such as national parks, like the Yala National Park and the Wilpattu National Park, and in isolated forest patches in areas with suitable habitat. The survival of the Sri Lankan leopard is threatened due to habitat loss and fragmentation, primarily with some levels of direct poaching and direct and indirect human leopard-related deaths. It was listed as endangered in the IUCN Red List, but has not been reassessed since then. Projects under the Wilderness and Wildlife Conservation Trust is working with the government of Sri Lanka to help preserve this iconic cat. The Sri Lankan sloth bear is a nocturnal insectivorous subspecies of sloth bear found mainly in the lowland dry forests of Sri Lanka. They are shy and reclusive animals and are usually only found in pairs during courting or when one encounters a mother and cub. Sloth bears have long, shaggy black fur and particularly long hair around their neck that looks like a mane. They have a cream-colored muzzle and large prehensile lips and a long tongue. They have hook-like claws that enable them to climb trees and dig for termites. They can grow up to 3 feet in height and 6 feet in length. They can weigh up to 140 kilos for a male and 95 kilos for a female. Their tails are approximately 6 inches and 15 centimeters long, which is the longest known for any bear. Like most other species of bear, sloth bears are omnivorous. While they feed predominantly on termites and ants, they also eat a variety of fruits, larvae, corn and yams. They are also known to climb up trees and get at beehives. They are excellent climbers and are often seen hanging from a kind of berry tree called palu. Unlike most species of bears, the Sri Lankan sloth bear do not hibernate. During monsoon season, they head for caves or other retreats where they become lethargic and wait out the rains. The Sri Lankan sloth bear is highly threatened with a population less than 1,000 and as few as 500 in the wild. They are classified as vulnerable by the IUCN. Rampant deforestation occurring in the dry zone and human encroachment are the main causes of its population decline, as the bears are highly dependent on natural forests for their food sources. The Sri Lankan jackal, also known as the southern Indian jackal, is a subspecies of golden jackal native to southern India and Sri Lanka. They are the only wild member of the dog family found in Sri Lanka and can attain slightly greater sizes than their mainland cousins. They are tough and adaptive animals whose intelligence, resourcefulness and cunning is well known across the island. They are masterful foragers, feeding on a wide range of food sources. Although it may scavenge on carrion and garbage, it is also a skilled hunter of birds, small mammals such as mouse deer, lizards, snakes, hares, rodents, insects, and even bring down prey as large as spotted deer when hunting in groups. Golden jackals are monogamous, which means their social structure is based on a pair bond which persists throughout their lives. Due to their tolerance of dry habitats and their omnivorous diet, they can be found in a wide variety of habitats across the island. They are active during the day and at night, and it is not unusual to see them in the open areas at the hottest hours of the day. Although the jackals have adapted to a largely nocturnal lifestyle close to human habitation, they come into direct conflict with man when it attacks and kills livestock. Perhaps a greater threat comes from diseases such as rabies and distemper, which periodically kill a large number of jackals. They also become the victims of poisoned cattle carcasses. In spite of all these drawbacks, they are classified as least concern on the IUCN Red List, and while there are a few specific conservation efforts for the species, rabies vaccination campaigns have been effective at reducing cases of the disease for the jackals. Wild or domestic, the Sri Lankan water buffalo, as their very name implies, spend a lot of time in the water. They relish this wet environment since water provides cooling in the tropical heat and relief from hundreds of biting insects that otherwise tend to plague the animals. The lagoons also provide a major source of food in lush grass and leaves. Domestic buffalo remain an integral part of many lowland communities. They have been used extensively in the cultivation of paddy, both plowing the fields prior to sowing of seeds and threshing the harvested grains. They are superior to common cattle for working in paddy rice fields as they are adapted for living in watery swamp conditions. They have wide, splayed large hooves that help them navigate through marshes and muddy fields of the island. Their milk and its products, particularly the rich yellow ghee and the smooth curd or meekiri, are village staples and urban treats. Even their dung is used as fertilizer and burnt as fuel. A typical wild herd is made up of females and their offspring. Young bulls group together to form bachelor herds until they are mature enough to claim their own territories. There exists a sexual dimorphism in the species as adult males are more muscled and larger than females, sometimes weighing over 900 kilos. The horns of the female forms into a wide, thin, upcurving crescent, while the males are usually thicker set but shorter. It is a common sight to see different types of small birds riding on the backs and removing parasitic insects that latch on to the buffaloes. They have formed a mutually beneficial bond and hence coexist well together.